For more than 50 years, tour guides in the Amazon have told visitors the same incredible story. They point to a strange palm tree and say it can walk. According to the legend, the tree slowly pulls itself through the forest using its roots, moving towards sunlight by as much as 20 meters every year. The idea became so popular that it was even supported by a scientific paper published in 1980. People called it the walking palm. But 25 years later, a biologist named Gerardo Avalos decided to test the claim. He marked the tree, measured its roots, recorded the position of its trunk. Then he came back later and measured everything again. The result? The tree hadn't moved at all, not even a single inch. Old roots simply died. New roots grew somewhere else. From a distance, it looked like walking. In reality, the tree never left its original spot. A scientific myth survived for 25 years simply because nobody checked. But strangely enough, the walking palm isn't the most fascinating part of this story, because plants really did move once. They swam, they navigated, and in a primitive way, they could even see. Every tree on Earth, every flower, every blade of grass descends from a tiny green alga that lived in ancient oceans. Unlike modern plants, it wasn't rooted in place. It swam freely, using tiny whip-like tails called flagella. Even stranger, it had a small, light-sensitive spot, not an eye like ours, but enough to detect sunlight and swim toward it. It could move. It could sense light. Then everything changed. As these early organisms evolved onto land, they gradually abandoned both abilities. They stopped swimming. They stopped steering themselves. Instead, they rooted into the ground. Even Aristotle believed movement separated plants from animals. Animals moved, plants didn't. Simple. Except, nature is rarely that simple. Most people assume plants stopped moving because they couldn't compete with animals. The truth is almost the opposite. About 470 million years ago, the first land plants discovered something far more powerful than movement: roots. By anchoring themselves into the soil, they gained direct access to water and minerals. Instead of spending energy searching for resources, they could invest everything into growing taller. Higher leaves captured more sunlight. Larger roots gathered more nutrients. Over millions of years, that strategy completely transformed Earth. Today, plants make up nearly 80% of all living biomass on the planet. Animals, despite running, flying, and swimming, make up only about 0.3%. The organisms that stopped walking ended up inheriting the world. The first forests wouldn't look like forests to us. Around 385 million years ago, the tallest plants weren't true trees. They lacked real wood. Instead, they were made from hollow tubes bundled together. More like giant prehistoric bamboo than modern trees. Standing above them was something even stranger, a towering organism called prototaxites. It reached nearly 8 meters tall. For decades, scientists couldn't agree on what it actually was. The leading explanation today? It wasn't a plant at all. It was probably an enormous fungus. Imagine giant mushrooms, taller than houses, dominating Earth long before familiar forests appeared. Eventually, true trees evolved. One of the first was Archaeopteris. Its roots dug deep into solid rock. As they spread, they broke apart stone and removed huge amounts of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. That changed Earth's climate. Temperatures dropped. Ocean chemistry shifted. Many scientists believe this helped trigger the Late Devonian mass extinction, eliminating up to 80% of marine life. The deadliest thing a tree ever did was simply stay rooted. The story gets even stranger. Some of the oldest trees still alive today, including cycads and ginkgo, never completely abandoned their ancient past. Their cells still swim, using flagella, the exact same structures their microscopic ancestors used hundreds of millions of years ago. The trees themselves remain perfectly still, but deep inside their reproductive cells, the memory of movement survives, like a living fossil hidden in plain sight. If trees can't run from danger, how do they warn one another? The answer lies underground. Beneath the forest floor, fungal networks connect tree roots across enormous distances. Scientists have discovered single fungal organisms linking dozens of trees over several kilometers. When insects attack one tree, chemical warning signals travel through these underground threads. Nearby trees begin strengthening their own defenses, sometimes within just 2 days. No voices, no movement, no physical contact above ground. Yet information still spreads through the forest, almost like a natural internet built millions of years before humans existed. A single tree may never change its location, but forests never truly truly stay still. Over thousands of years, entire forests slowly migrate. Seeds spread into new territory. Old populations disappear. New ones take their place. Today, European beech forests are gradually moving north, following Earth's changing climate. Stand in a forest for one afternoon, and everything appears perfectly still. Watch that same forest for 10,000 years, and it flows across continents like a slow-moving river. Even the tree you see isn't the whole tree. Its roots often stretch 2 or even 3 times wider than the branches above. In many species, more of the tree exists underground than above. When scientists uncovered the fossilized roots of Archaeopteris, they were so enormous that many researchers initially refused to believe they belonged to just one tree. Every tree you've ever looked at has always been much larger than you realized. So, did plants really stop moving? Not exactly. They simply passed movement to the next generation. A coconut can drift across entire oceans. A dandelion seed can travel for kilometers on the wind. A fig seed can survive inside a bird, then grow hundreds of kilometers away from its parent tree. The tree itself never moves. Its children do. Evolution didn't erase movement from plants. It simply changed where that movement happens. The tree stays rooted, sometimes for centuries, but everything it creates is free to travel the world. If trees can build underground communication networks, change Earth's climate, and still hide secrets from millions of years ago, imagine what else nature has been quietly doing all this time. Subscribe, because this planet has many more stories waiting to be uncovered.